Good afternoon. Hope everyone is good. It's Jazz. It's the West Ham Minds channel. I think everyone is well. Certainly after that great 3-1 London derby win at Chelsea yesterday, I think we're all in a good mood. And those of us who went into the office or warehouse or factory or whatever you do in your personal life, but you had a bit of a spring in your step, especially if there were a few Chelsea fans that you work with, really. So, yeah, but obviously we're now back to the midweek. We're back to the transfer news grind and many stories again. It's getting bonkers. Every day I think we're getting linked with 6 or 7 players, many different stories, and they keep changing every minute. 1 minute we're signing someone, 5 minutes later it's another different story, and today is no different. Just a reminder for everyone, the transfer window closes September the 1st, so we're into the last week and a half or so, and as everyone knows, despite the win yesterday, there were a lot of things that we saw that needs improving over the term of the season, really. You know, we kind of were under the cosh, gave a lot of possession away. There were a lot of individual mistakes out there, as you know, that we need to improve on, but thank God we did it. Got 4 points in the first 2 games, which is a good foundation to build upon going into the Brighton game, and then there's 1 or 2 more difficult games after that. We've got Luton, who I believe it's going to be their first home game in their ground, so they're going to be up for it along with their fans. It's a very challenging, small, old-school ground, Kenilworth Road. You don't see many grounds like that anymore, so it's going to be different, shall I say. And then we've got, obviously, Man City and Liverpool kind of after that. I don't know if it's one after the other, but certainly they are amongst the games after that, really. So, as you can see, I know every game is difficult, but it really is when you look at our fixtures. So I'm really glad we've got 4 points on the board, because yesterday was very crucial. I know it's early, I hate using that word, but you lose, it's 1 point from 2, you're in the bottom 4. You draw, I would have been happy. It's unbeaten, and we got 2 kind of games out the way. A win changes everything. We're joint 3rd alongside Liverpool and 1 or 2 other clubs, so we're in good company. And back to the window, from yesterday's game we could see that, for me, Souček shouldn't be a starter. Many individual mistakes, including the penalty and a lot of other things going on with him. Really concerned about Agard. I did say before the game that he had a lot of things went wrong at Bournemouth for him, and even worse yesterday. You know, he kind of got sent off. And he's just always caught in the wrong position. I think his understanding with Areola and Zuma needs to be improved on, you know, so it is concerning. But we are looking for a centre-back, which we'll go into in the show. Obviously, you all know who he is. So that's kind of concerning for me. Ward-Prowse had a very stable, good sort of debut. Settled in quite quick. 2 fabulous corners, one of which brought the goal. And then obviously a kind of an assist for Antonio. So can't ask for anything more than that. Alvarez, he kind of got some minutes under his belt, and he looked really good as well. So I think him and Prowse will be the starters in the middle. Souček will be on the bench, and then we'll see whoever else can get in there. Can we buy anyone else in that position? Because I think Downs has gone he's on loan at Southampton, so he's not going to be one of those. Our fullbacks had a torrid time yesterday. They played like lions, but they just don't have the age or the stamina or the pace. It's difficult. They got done over and over again. And yes, we got away with it yesterday because, Chelsea just couldn't finish one of the numerous crosses that were going in. But one game they are going to go in. So I keep banging on about it. We need a left back. We need a right back. And up front, Antonio scored a truly world-class goal. But again, being honest, apart from that, he just didn't do anything, didn't hold the ball up, didn't press enough, and it's the usual things with him again. And again, we've been linked with the strikers, thank God, because those are the positions that need improving on, really. Benrahma's quiet, and he always is in the big games, always said that. He needs to be visible in the big games, and he's not. That hasn't changed. Don't know why Cornet's not involved. I've got a lot of time for him, so we'll see where he fits in, really. So we've got a few options down there. We'll see what happens. Paqueta was good as usual, and everyone else was kind of all right, really. So all in all, really good victory, considering how much money that Chelsea squad is worth. So we had a good laugh over our London derby lot, including the fans, really. So anyway, back to the transfer news. So let's start off with Mavropanos, the Greek 6'4", man mountain from Stuttgart. Was seen in the ground with our technical director in the crowd, so he was there at the London Stadium. One thing I kind of was incorrect about, I mentioned in my earlier shows that he was part of the Stuttgart team that got relegated. He wasn't. What it is in Germany, they finish third from bottom and you go into a playoff, and they won that to stay up. So it wasn't a great season, but they didn't quite go down. They won the playoff and they stayed in the top division, really. A couple of things I was concerned about him, like I was concerned about Maguire. You know, I think he's kind of more comfortable when you play three centre-halves and he's the right one instead of a flat back four. And there's a lot of mistakes in him. The good thing is he's a physical presence. He's a beast. He's 24-25. Got a lot of goals on him, you know, whether it's headers or shots. It's amazing. There's not many people like that. He's very aggressive with the ball, likes to come out with it, you know. So he's quite different. It is a reasonable price. I think he's half the money what Maguire was. But for me, I have got a few concerns about him. But hopefully the club has done the check and due diligence, and if and when we get the deal done, he'll be a good addition. That kind of is another story. Half an hour ago, stories began to appear that he's failed his medical. So that was going around, and now I think ex-employee and one or two others have clarified the situation and said it's a minor back injury. It's not quite bad enough to perhaps fail the medical and a move not to go on. So there's certain things that West Ham want reassurances from Stuttgart in the contract, whether that's kind of a lower price or maybe a loan to perm deal like we did with Benrahma. I don't know. So it's kind of, at the moment, it's kind of just about on, shall we say, because it should have been announced by now, to be fair. So let's keep monitoring on that front, really. And then obviously we've bid for Kudus. Mohamed Kudus from Ajax, very speedy winger who plays in the Bowen position and can also play in the central Fornells position. We're about 3 to 5 million euros apart in valuation, so ongoing discussions where we're going to be back on the table with that one. Again, X gave us a update on that. Again, I'm happy with Kudus and I'm happy with Doku, who I'm going to talk about now. But the weird thing for me is, first of all, the good things are they're good age, they're rapid pace, really, really good clubs are after them, like Man City and Brighton and Chelsea, you know, so good pedigree of clubs after them, full of pace. And you could see from yesterday's game, we need young players, we need fast players, right? We need attacking players. This is what everything Kudus and Doku are. But they do play in that Bowen position or in the Fornells' position. They don't play up front, and I don't want Neysri to perhaps, you know, if that's what he's thinking, you know. I would use him if we're desperate, but that shouldn't be a mainstream striker if he hasn't played in that position. And you know, in the past, we try to play players where they haven't played there a lot, then it's going to cause a few issues, really. Let's get a proper striker in, really. So Kudus, ongoing discussions. Doku cost a bit more. I think he's around 44 million. It's kind of what they want for Doku, which is causing a bit of an issue. Also, Man City are still after him. He wants to go there. So we don't know if they're going to get the deal done or not, or whether they're going to come to us. So we're still in there with Doku. We're still in there with Kudus. So looks like we want both, but they're playing the same position virtually, you know. So I don't know what's going to go on with that. El Neysri, a name that's constantly linked with us every summer, it sounds like. He has turned us down before twice. Just loves playing for Sevilla and that kind of thing. Obviously, an international teammate of Agard. So Agard, I'm sure, has told him one or two things about West Ham. Again, he's a striker who can fit the Moyes model. He can play there up front. He's very tall, very strong, and he can handle that. So really happy if he comes aboard. It's going to be 35 million, but the boy he's done well at international level, and Sevilla is a good team, good league, and I don't have many issues about him. He's one of the old school kind of rough and ready strikers, shall I say. He can handle the physical side of it, and he can handle playing up front by himself as well. So that's kind of a good link. Solanki is a one that refuses to go away. There are stories that we have actually more or less told Bournemouth we want him, named a price. Some reports go further and say we've actually submitted a 40 million bid, or we told him we'll pay 40 million, just let us know what you want to do. Bournemouth are not really replying or not engaging as much. He's 24-25, came from Liverpool. Eddie Howe signed him. Didn't really do much for many, many years, but when they went down, he'd scored a lot of goals in the Championship. Last year was okay in the Premiership. Not a lot of goals, but he was their main type of guy. He scored the Bournemouth equaliser at West Ham. You could see, again, he can play that role. He's strong enough, young enough, good stamina. He can press without the ball, press with the ball. He's fine. So happy about Solanki and now Neysri. Neysri will get slightly more goals than Solanki, I think. But like Broja as well, all three can play that. So at least the club are sensibly buying the players that are playing that sole striker role. So it's no issue for them. The issue is if you buy Doku, Kudus, who are right wingers or central attacking midfielders, you try to put them up front, I'm not going to be happy about that, right? And obviously with Maguire and Mavropanos, Maguire big I had big kind of hesitation about him, too slow, too old, didn't want to come to us, coming for the wrong reasons. Mavropanos sounds like a good guy, probably mix in, just needs to improve on his defensive side really, so we'll see how that goes really. So these are the five, and what is telling me rightly so, again what I said, following from Chelsea's game, you all agree we need speed, we need strength, we need players on the ball that can keep the ball, which we don't do. We need players who can run with the ball, carry the ball like Lingard used to. So all these players will fit that hopefully. And we need a striker up front, much better than Antonio, that can hold it up, be a target man. And when he's holding it, he brings the others to play, that kind of thing. We're desperate for that. But then we need a left back and a right back as well. So still a few issues. Areola's getting better, isn't he? Like I was saying, 1% at time. Good kind of penalty save. So he's kind of trudging along okay, really. So, although, yeah, good start to the season, but we all can see we could do with a good few players in the squad yet to match up to the rest of the top 6, top 7, certainly, really. So that's it from me. That's my roundup for the West Ham transfer news. Hopefully I'll do one again tomorrow. And again, there'll be another 6, 7 names. It's going to be like this till the end of the window now. And again, don't be surprised if a huge name comes out of the blue that we're not even linked with, because A, I kept saying we've got the cash, and B, we've got room in the squad to bring those in. One final thing I just remembered, the Paqueta story is building up again. Now they're saying that Man City haven't completely ruled it out. They have had a bid verbally accepted by West Ham a week ago, so that won't go away till the window shuts, I think. For me, I think it's not really a case that's going to cause too much issues. I don't think there's any concrete proof that he placed the bets himself or certainly told someone to do them. I think someone within where he's from, the neighbourhood or the family did it. So sometimes it's going to be hard to prove, and hopefully just be told off or be warned, or 1 or 2 game suspension at worst, really. But the more we go in for Doku and Kudus and Solanki, that's what's 90 million. The more it's telling you that Paqueta might go to supplement that kind of outlay of cash, but you don't know. So that's going to be up in the air. Doesn't seem to be affecting him, thankfully, but that story is not going to die away unless City go in for Doku and 1 or 2 others. Then they're kind of covered now, and they don't want to risk it on him for now. They can buy him next year, 85 million release clause. Any club meets that. There's nothing we can do about that, right? But for now, day to day, these stories are going to develop and kind of do your head in. But it is what it is. But yeah, that's it from me. Have a great evening. Keep following the West Ham Minds channel. Subscribe. Tell everyone about it if you haven't. Want to come on the show, send me a message on Twitter. My Twitter handle's at the bottom. I'm a few short of 3,000 followers. So yeah, follow me on Twitter. I do actually need to tweet more and more. I've had a good 4 or 5 months of not being on there. So I need to get a bit more busy on there, really. So yeah, take care. Come on, you irons. Let's get